Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for It's a Wrap. Tracy is not with me today, but hopefully she'll be with me next week. So for this week, we had a very busy week. Monday was St. Patrick's Day. Tuesday, Cricket went in to be spayed, and everything went well. She went back to Tracy's house until Friday. That way, we didn't have to worry about any opening of stitches or anything like that. She did amazing. A little whiny, but she did amazing. She just wanted somebody to be with her. Wednesday, we had a little incident with our service dog Jenny. She had was going into the vet's office, didn't want to go in, and unfortunately slipped out of her vest that her recipient was handling, and she ran off. They did a search. A lot of the people from the vet's office did a search, and they did not locate her on Wednesday. We got notice, Service Dog Project got notice on Thursday. So, bright and early Thursday morning, we went out to search for Jenny. So, Tracy was there, Diane came, John and Simba came to help. Doug was there, and myself with Bianca, because Jenny knows Bianca. And we all went out searching for her. I want to say it was probably 8:30 in the morning or so, and she was found. I want to say probably around 4 o'clock. She was found. She was in great condition. She went through swamps. Being out overnight was kind of scary. She's a timid dog as it is, so that was a very scary experience for her, and especially for her handler. He was just devastated that she was gone. So, long story short, we had the police were notified. They were out looking for her. And one of the police officers met us over at one of the dead end roads that had seen her the night before, around 5 o'clock. So we got together there, and he had a drone that his the police department had received a grant, and the Amesbury Police Department was able to buy this drone. They received it in December, he said, and this guy was remarkable at using it. He was able, it's a heat sensor, so he was able to hone right in on where Jenny was. He could zoom right in and see exactly where she was. She was hunkering down next to the swampy area, and he was able to uh, text the location right on your phone. So I was able to go out, and Diane and John met me there. I was able to go out to where that area was, but I had to walk through a swamp in order to get to where Jenny was. And we were on the phone. Tracy was kind of like our command post, which was great. We were on the phone with her, and so the police officer could tell us whether or not Jenny was still right there or if she had moved. It would see my location fine as I moved, but Jenny seemed her location was just spot on. So if she moved, I wouldn't have seen it because it's just a snapshot of what he sent me. But he was able, you could see the drone, you could hear the drone. It sounded like a bunch of hornets. And you could pretty much, he would see where you are and tell you, move to the left, move to the right. But unfortunately, as I was approaching Jenny, she had taken off, which he said, she's heading back this way. So back through the swamp, I went with Diane's assistant because it was so muddy. I just couldn't even get my feet out of the mud. Um, so we went back over to our gathering place, and John and Simba this time went with Haley. Haley had also showed up. God bless her. And she was said to be 700 feet out from the location that we were finally at. And they just tromped through the woods, and then it went into a field, and then it went back over to the swampy area. So I had circled back over to where I was originally in the swamp and met John and Haley there with Jenny, thank goodness. And I had to trudge through the swamp again to get to where Haley was, looped another leash around her because Jenny was not going to go into that swamp. She was so happy to see us, but she wasn't going to go in the swamp. So little by little, we coaxed her over. We walked through the swamp while she was able to get up on all the pieces of dryness, if there was any, and all the way over. So she was reunited. She was so happy to see John. That was one of the most amazing parts. And then she met up with her handler's wife, and she was just so excited. So we ended up going um, back over to the original area that the police officer had the drone. Um, he was able to, I believe he was able to see her. But there was Tracy was there and Diane was there. So it was a big reunion right there. We checked out Jenny the best that we could. She had some scrapes on her from going through thorns. She was very hungry. I had brought food, I brought water, I brought um, all kinds of stuff for her. Um, and off she went home, where she had a great night's sleep. She was reunited with her, like I said, with her handler, and it was great. So that brings me to Friday. Friday was pretty much a down day for all of us, where we pretty much realized some muscles that we didn't know that we already had. We felt it, that's for sure. Saturday, I met Jenny and her recipient over at the vet's office, where we had recommended that she does have a um, just be seen by the vet. You have no idea what was in that swamp. You had no idea. It's tick season now. Does she have all these ticks all over her? Because they were very, very small. How about the thorn wounds that she had on her feet, on her legs, on the inside of her ears as she ran through? She had these superficial wounds. Just kind of getting everything cleared up. She did have looked like it was starting to be an infection on one of her legs, but that was treated, and she goes back in a couple of weeks just to make sure that everything is kosher, because it usually takes a few days for any type of infection to come in. So that was our excitement for the week. Um, yeah, and that brings us to today. And knock on wood, we have had no issues at all today. So one of the things that I did want to mention is our team training. So we have team training meetings with all new recipients once they receive the dog. After around 4 weeks, if we don't hear from them first with any issues, we reach out to them. We do a video call with them, and we just make sure that everything's okay. Are they still working the way that they should be? Are you having any difficulties, etc.? And um, that usually works pretty well. We try to keep in touch with them, and we do see them, 2 months later for the recertification. We also have team training meetings with recipients that are having some issues with their dogs, or if the dogs need extra training. So once I hear about the issues that they're having, and it's usually brought to us via email, or sometimes they do call, we write them down. I share the email with the team, and we all talk. We give it a day. We talk about it via a Zoom meeting or a Google Meet or whatever platform, and we come up with, we just voice uh, thoughts that are going through our head of how we can fix this, how they can do this, how about if we try this. And then usually it's the next day we get a hold of the recipient, and it's a big community of the trainers, and we're offering our assistance with, how about this? How about this? Have you tried this? There are things that they forgot, especially new recipients. So it's a big our way of communicating, I think, has improved greatly when it comes to the recipients and with the handling of dogs. So you'll see a bunch of videos. I know we put them out in um, someone in Explore. Some of them are just on our social media of us going out with the dogs. But I did want to let everybody know that, about our communication strategies with our recipients also. So that's all I have for this week. Again, we're trying to get these done on a weekly basis. There may be some days that, it's so few of us. Maybe some days that, we're going to skip uh, and maybe show it the following Monday or something. But we're trying to get communication out there. We're very excited about continuing with the build, extremely excited on how well these dogs are doing, even being in foster homes. I was very reluctant about that, but really didn't have much of a choice. But they're doing great. They're happy. We're getting our spays and neuters done. And Tracy just keeps on updating my calendar with events that are being scheduled, appointments, just everything that happens. So it's been good. So I hope everybody enjoyed this talk to hear what has happened this week, and hopefully I'll have Tracy with me next week to go over some more fun things, and hopefully I'll have some videos also. So stay tuned, and thank you for joining me for It's a Wrap.